Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars video. It is I coming at you once again, your favourite galactic hostess, Star Wars Meg. And today we have a pretty insane rumour. This is a rumour with a capital R, and just before we dive into it and talk about its credibility and all of that kind of thing, the implications and what this could mean, I think I need to say something about the state of recent Star Wars updates. They've been all over the place. Ever since Andor came to an end, because the next major Star Wars project isn't until May 2026, there's naturally been a lack of official breaking Star Wars news. We've had comments from the likes of Kathleen Kennedy and George Lucas and recently Mark Hamill, but in terms of official announcements, they've been pretty few and far between. And so to fill this void, along come a bevy of so-called scoopers, like the one we're going to be talking about today, Daniel RPK, and he's been reporting all kinds of things, some more credible and I would say legitimate, and some, at least in my estimation, not so legitimate. And that's where today's report comes in. During this period of uncertainty for Lucasfilm, there's been an increase in questionable journalism, and many Twitter accounts, media outlets, entertainment websites, you name it, have been running with these crazy headlines. At this point, people are just throwing things against the wall hoping they're right. And so with that kind of disclaimer and setup, I give you today's so-called massive Star Wars rumour. Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 is moving forward and is about to go into development. Do I think it's true? I'll be honest with you guys, I really don't think so. We've been talking about this for years. There have been so many different reports that there's going to be a sequel, that it might be a movie, that it's going to be a different showrunner than Deborah Chow. We know Ewan McGregor wants to return, but we have nothing official. But here's the thing, this could just be an example of good guesswork from the source. Because we know Ewan McGregor might be returning in Ahsoka Season 2 for flashbacks, and because he's a legacy character, Hayden Christensen also said he's game, conversations might be going ahead. But please don't take this as gospel. You're gonna be disappointed, my friend. And look, I'd love for this to be true. The first season was far from a very good show. Issues in the way it looked, the scale of it, changing the way we see A New Hope, the rematch between Vader and Obi-Wan before Episode 4, but then there was the hope of the final scene, Obi-Wan reconnecting with Qui-Gon's Force Ghost. Because now in canon, Obi-Wan is going to begin the process of learning how to become a Force Spirit. And I think for fans of the Legends novel and fans of what George Lucas said, he needs to remain on Tatooine. So if they do a Season 2, he needs to stay put. And then there's the question of the timeline of Season 2. Is it going to be like the first season, just a small mission, a tiny portion of this time period, or could they take us all the way up to A New Hope? And if that's the case, imagine a live-action version of the Maul vs. Kenobi fight from the Rebels episode Twin Suns. Others have suggested a confrontation between Maul and Darth Vader. But regardless, Obi-Wan needs to remain on Tatooine. The only problem with this, Liam Neeson said he would not return again. The Obi-Wan cameo was a one-off.
No, I'm not. There's so many spin-offs of Star Wars. It's diluting it to me, and it's taken away the mystery and the magic in a weird way, you know? It was nice to do the little bit with Ewan after 25 years, 24 years, you know?
He doesn't seem to like what Disney have done with the brand, but I'm sure with the old mighty dollar, Disney has a way of convincing him. But look, at the moment, I just don't see this happening. What we do know, my friends, is there's a Darth Maul animated show coming out. Ewan McGregor is probably returning in Ahsoka Season 2, but in terms of an Obi-Wan sequel, I'd love to be mistaken, I'd love to be wrong, but don't expect it. I've been covering Star Wars news for about 5 years, and I've learned my lessons in not jumping to conclusions, which is why I tell you guys, if something smells a bit fishy, if I don't think something's legit, I will just tell you. If it doesn't come from a reliable source, I'm gonna be honest, and tell you to take the information with a huge grain of salt. So now I'm very selective, and I tell you flat out, before I cover anything, look, is this BS? Is it legit? What are the chances of this happening? And what are some things that I've heard? Because I have friends everywhere, and now and again I'll get a scoop. I know a couple of people who know some things, who are well connected, and in this age of disingenuousness and ulterior motives, I always keep things $1.50. There's no agenda here. So whether you love my videos or you hate them, and you don't like me because I didn't like this thing that you really like, or I love something you hate, I keep it real, and that will always be the case. So if that's the kind of content you want, please make sure to subscribe. Hit the big button down below and ring the bell to be alerted every time that I post a new video. But this update, this rumour, whether it's real or fake, has been making the rounds. So let's take a look at how some fans reacted, and suggestions for what they should do with the Season 2. Base it off the Legends Kenobi novel. It's a self-contained Tatooine story. Now, I love the book. It is a slow burn, but when it picks up, it's fantastic. I love the conflict between the moisture farmers and the Tusken Raiders, and the world building of the legendary Star Wars desert planet. And it was the perfect place to explore Kenobi's post-Episode 3 feelings. His pain over losing Anakin to the dark side, his anxiety for Luke and the future of the Jedi, trying to connect with Qui-Gon Jinn. It was great, very self-contained, very little overlap with other stories, and no massive galactic stakes. In this way, it could make for a fantastic second season, but it's an enormous contrast compared to the first season of the Disney Plus show. So maybe they should go in a different direction, continue their own canon, cherry pick elements that work, but yes, Obi-Wan needs to remain on Tatooine. This comment definitely gave me a good laugh. Does it have an incredible chase scene where hired assassins are unable to capture a 5-year-old girl alone in the woods? Oh my goodness guys, that chase scene from the first season was definitely one of Disney's worst. It's like what I said yesterday about The Acolyte. If they ever want to do a Season 2, you've got to flip the script, do things completely differently. New showrunner, use Andor as a template for filming on location, make it visually spectacular, have the same level of maturity and writing of Andor's 2 seasons, and just listen to the fans, learn from the mistakes, and take on board the things fans loved. This person gets it. Real sets and better writing. Learn from Andor. Obi-Wan is a great character and Ewan McGregor is a great actor. This could be great with the right team. And it's why I do say, with a bit of caution, that while I think this rumour is complete BS, it might be good fan speculation to say they are considering avenues to bring Ewan back. Maybe for more than just Ahsoka Season 2. They have a golden goose. Under the right circumstances, I'm sure plenty of fans would be more than happy to give Obi-Wan a second chance. And I'm sorry to ramble on about this, but why did Kenobi get such a small budget compared to Skeleton Crew, Andor, and The Acolyte? These are legacy characters. Freaking Luke is in it. But some good news, I reckon, following the success of Andor Season 2, is as this person said, Disney will definitely be on everyone's ass about writing and set design. But the question remains, does Disney want to take that risk? They've been talking about cutting back, focusing on the movies. Then screw it, make Obi-Wan Season 2 a movie, and for the love of goodness, please give us a flashback to live-action Duchess Satine. Lots they can do with this, but do I believe this rumour? I'm afraid not at the moment. But maybe you disagree with me. Is this in the works? Is this going to happen? Share your thoughts in the comments down below, my dear friends. What story would you pitch Lucasfilm? Imagine Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni are in front of you, and they say, listen, we want to make Obi-Wan Season 2. What's the story? And if you enjoyed this video, guys, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, check me out on socials, and may the Force be with you, always.